What happens when a powerful man writes the story for you, before anyone sees the evidence? And what if the one witness who never blinks is your dashcam? The manager pointed at the fresh scrape on his SUV and called Luis a liar. A police cruiser rolled up fast, lights chewing the rain, and the crowd chose sides. Hit and run, the manager said, voice steady like a verdict already signed. Luis swallowed hard. One contract lost meant his daughter's therapy went unpaid. An officer clipped a citation to the wind, and a rumor became a headline. Insurance called, $12,000 or goodbye to every future delivery. In a downpour that erased footprints, the only witness that didn't blink was taped to the windshield. Stay with me, because the truth behind this story is about to surface. Luis Moreno drove a 14-foot box truck for Riverbend Courier, third shift through Cincinnati's soaked avenues. The store was Dalton Market, closing late, neon humming as carts rattled. Brent Dalton, owner, polished smile, strode out when Luis backed near the loading stripe. A gust slammed a display sign, plastic clattering. 10 minutes later, Brent shouted, "Hey," pointing at a thin silver scar curling across his Escalade's bumper. "You did that," he said, flat, certain. Luis replayed the last 5 minutes in his mind, reverse beep, mirrors clear, wool straight, no jerk, and no jolt. He remembered a thud earlier, only the sign. Brent's voice grew carrying, calibrated for witnesses. "Hit and run, except I caught you," he added, phone already filming. 2 night shift clerks paused. The rain made everything dramatic, splashes felt like exclamation points. Luis reached toward the dashcam, then hesitated. The card had to be there, unless dispatch swapped it. A cruiser rolled in, tires kissing water. Officer Dana Whitaker stepped out, professional, unreadable. Brent approached first, confident stride, he reversed into me, then tried to leave. Luis tried to keep breath steady. A citation before sunrise meant court costs and a contract penalty. Whitaker separated them, took statements, inspected the crease, and ran a finger along the paint. "No flakes on the truck," she noted, "but the bumper's wet. Everyone's bumper is wet tonight." Brent's tone sharpened. "He was halfway gone when I ran out." "That's flight." A clerk nodded, then backpedaled when Whitaker glanced over. Luis explained the sign, the no-impact feel, offering to pull the dashcam card. Whitaker lifted her chin. "If you have footage, I'll watch it." Luis pressed the camera release. The slot was empty. His stomach fell. He remembered dispatch texting about monthly maintenance. Brent smirked like the verdict finally showed up. Whitaker issued a citation for leaving the scene and unsafe backing pending investigation, not arrest. Brent filmed that too, narrating oily, justice in action. Insurance called Luis before he reached the end of the lot, voice clipped, $12 grand to settle or we dispute your coverage. Luis clutched the wheel, rain strobing. And then, the sound outside, shattered the calm. A forklift beeped somewhere behind Dalton Market, wrong hour, wrong door, wrong driver. Luis parked under a gas station canopy and phoned dispatch. Elena Morales answered, brisk and steady, the person who kept bad nights from collapsing. "We rotated cards," she said, "but yours should have been returned at 4. The office had already closed." She promised to check the locker at dawn. Luis replayed the scrape scene in his head, angle, distance, reflections. Something bothered him. The Escalade had been nosed toward the store, not the spaces. Why? At sunrise, Elena texted, "Found your card in the maintenance tray. Timestamp intact." Luis drove straight to the depot, palms slicker than last night's streets. They opened the footage in a break room that bragged about safety records. There was the truck backing, straight lines, slow as a heartbeat. The sign toppled, a harmless slap. Then, 2 minutes later, Brent's Escalade eased forward, turned too tight, kissed the fixed metal guard post, and paused. The video showed no truck contact, only the SUV's bumper flexing against the post, a shiver of chrome. A second view from the rear cam captured Brent stepping out, checking the scrape, scanning the empty lot, then looking toward the store door, calculating. He repositioned the SUV near Luis's path, angled for a photo. He rehearsed a face, insulted, controlled. Elena exhaled. He staged the blame. Luis nodded, relief laced with anger he couldn't swallow. Elena urged caution. We hand this to insurance and the officer, by the book. Luis wanted to march back to Dalton Market, slam a laptop on the hood, and announce the truth. But good evidence wasted on bad timing becomes noise. They copied the files, hashed them, printed stills, and prepared a chain of custody note. Elena scheduled a call with Whitaker and Riverbend's insurer, Towline Mutual. No yelling, she warned Luis. Let the proof talk. Brent wasn't waiting. By mid-morning he posted surveillance screenshots, grainy, cropped, on his store's social media. Local courier damages customer's property. Caution when hiring. Comments bloomed, make him pay, another reckless driver. Riverbend's biggest client messaged Luis's supervisor, pull him from our docks until resolved. Elena forwarded every post to counsel. Luis scrolled once, then put the phone down like it stung. Proof changes outcomes, he told himself. But smear speeds faster than truth. Officer Whitaker met them in the precinct conference room, coffee steam tracing quick lines in cool air. You've got footage, she asked. Elena laid out the prints, then pushed the laptop forward. Whitaker watched in total stillness. Play. Pause. Zoom. The guardpost paint line matched the scrape perfectly. The truck never touched the SUV. Whitaker's jaw set. She looked tired of shortcuts. The very rule he used against her was now aimed at him. Whitaker called Brent to the station. He arrived rehearsed and righteous, but the video put sand in his gears. He tried to argue angles, light distortion, camera placement. Whitaker held steady. You positioned your vehicle after contacting a fixed object, then accused Mr. Moreno, she said, each clause a checkpoint. That's filing a false report. Brent blinked. I believed, he began. Belief isn't a substitute for evidence, Whitaker said, already drafting the addendum. Towline Mutual joined by video call. Their investigator, Kayla Reed, had seen hundreds of staged claims. Her eyes narrowed at the Escalade's slow, deliberate arc. Guard post impact creates horizontal paint transfer, she said, circling pixels on screen. Any truck strike here would show a different pattern, height mismatch, plus vibration on the dashcam audio. There is none. She muted, conferred, unmuted. Towline withdraws subrogation immediately. Will pursue costs for malicious misrepresentation. Brent pivoted to charm, then to indignation, then to legal threats. He said the video was a privacy invasion. Elena slid a consent form. Dashcam notices were posted in the truck and in vendor agreements. He said the guard post was new. Kayla showed last month's Google Street View with the same scuff. He said Luis had reversed recklessly. Whitaker pointed to the truck's steady RPM and brake pulses. Brent checked his watch like an exit sign. Riverbend's owner, Jonah Pratt, entered with a careful expression, halfway apology, and halfway audit. My driver's been suspended 48 hours, he said, glancing at Luis, pending facts. Elena handed him the facts. He read, then exhaled, shoulders dropping. Suspension lifted, retro pay approved, he said. He faced Luis. I'm sorry. Luis nodded, grateful, still wired. Brent's phone buzzed. Dalton Market's Facebook post had sprouted corrections and a dozen calls for retractions. Whitaker prepared two paths: withdraw the citation with a formal finding or present charges for false reporting. She asked Luis if he wanted to file a civil complaint for defamation and lost wages. Kayla offered documentation support. Luis thought of attorneys' retainers, then of his daughter's therapy calendar pinned above the coffee maker. Brent's voice, smaller now, and asked if we can handle this quietly. Silence spread like dawn in a closed room. Elena rewound one more time to confirm timestamps, then paused at something none of them had clocked, a reflection in the Escalade's chrome, Brent's face as he checked the damage, not surprised, just calculating. His phone screen flashed a text preview, we'll say he hit it. It was mirrored, reversed, but legible when flipped. One truth never moved, hidden in plain sight. Kayla's eyebrows rose. That's coordination, she said softly. Not panic. Whitaker placed the still beside her clipboard. Mr. Dalton, who is we? Brent's mouth opened, then shut. He tried a deep breath, the kind people take before they create a new reality. My assistant, he said, finally, voice flat. She saw it after. Whitaker didn't look away. You're not under arrest yet. But you are under investigation. Brent's shoulders sagged. The room seemed smaller. The rain had quit outside, the soundproofing made it feel louder. Kayla marked the damages, the guardpost paint on Brent's bumper, zero truck residue, matched timestamps, steady dashcam audio, and chrome reflection text. She drafted a summary for Towline's legal team, requesting fees and an apology letter to Luis and Riverbend. Jonah promised public correction and a paid day off for Luis. Elena squeezed Luis's forearm under the table, permission to breathe. Whitaker printed the citation withdrawal. The flimsy paper meant the world anyway. The next day, Whitaker invited everyone back for a final statement. Brent arrived without the earlier armor, a thin tie hanging wrong. She read the addendum into the record: no evidence of truck impact, evidence of misreporting by complainant, citation voided. Kayla's legal notice pinged Brent's inbox, subrogation reversed, costs pursued. Jonah's public apology went live. And then, every voice went silent. Whitaker pressed play one last time, letting the dashcam speak. Brent signed a written apology to Luis, Riverbend, and the department. Dalton Market posted a retraction across every platform where the smear had spread. Towline filed to recover investigative expenses. The city prosecutor opened a review on filing a false report. Whitaker shook Luis's hand in the lobby, a small smile. Evidence is patient, she said. Jonah handed Luis a revised route slate with arrays. Elena texted a single confetti emoji and breakfast. They ate diner eggs in a booth that had seen 1,000 graveyard shifts survive the dark. Luis laughed for the first time in days, a sound that surprised him. He called his ex afterward, the therapy appointment stayed on the calendar. By evening, Riverbend's clients had rebooked. One asked for Luis by name. Dalton Market's apology gathered fewer clicks than Brent's outrage, but it stayed pinned, a quiet correction humming like a fridge. A week later, Luis pulled under the same Dalton Market canopy for a different store on the route, rain again turning street lights into threads of fire. He sat a moment, listening to the truck idle, watching the world blur and unblur through the wipers. The dashcam's red light glowed steady, unblinking, unbothered. He touched the camera, not like a crutch, more like a witness you treat with respect. He stepped out, shoulders even. Story lesson: when power tries to script your guilt, let the facts finish the sentence. Truth doesn't shout, it persists. If this story gripped you, subscribe now, so you never miss the next voice of bias revealed.